like thunder from a clear sky. It is these words that can describe all the horror that the residents of the Russian capital experienced when they saw Ukrainian combat drones over their residential buildings. Despite the fact that the Ukrainian side claims that the target of the attack was not the homes of ordinary residents but military facilities, it is very hard to believe. A few days before the attack, in their Telegram channels and Twitter accounts, the head of the main intelligence directorate of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine, Kirill Budanov, the mayor of Kiev, Vitaly Klitschko, and the head of the office of the president of Ukraine, Mikhail Podolyak, promised to arrange a fun and unforgettable life for all residents and guests of Moscow. Based on this, it can be concluded that the target of the attack was precisely the civilian infrastructure, residential buildings, and ordinary citizens of the largest city in Europe. Let's now turn to the chronology of events. At dawn on May 30th, the air defense systems on the outskirts of Moscow detected 25 enemy drones and worked normally. Despite the fact that the drones were flying at extremely low altitudes, the air defense systems managed to destroy more than half of the drones. The rest of the combat drones failed by crashing into high-voltage transmission lines and tree branches. Only 3 drones reached the targets. One drone crashed into the roof of a residential 28-story building. Another drone flew into the balcony of another residential building, located on the 17th floor, and the third drone fell on the cornice of a 15-story building, located also on the outskirts of Moscow. Fortunately, the explosive charges on the 2 drones did not work. Only one drone exploded, causing minor damage to a 25-story residential building. None of the residents of the multi-story buildings were injured. Looking through news portals devoted to this topic, one could see interviews of numerous witnesses who claimed to have heard numerous explosions. Later it turned out that it was the work of air defense systems that destroyed low-flying drones in regular mode. As for the drones, the journalists managed to find out that they were drones of the Ukrainian Army UJ-22 Airborne, produced by the Ukrainian company Ukhrjet. These drones are considered extremely inefficient in terms of damaging enemy facilities. However, it seems that it was the simplicity of these drones that forced the Ukrainian command to use these unmanned aerial vehicles to attack Moscow. The fact is that there are no electronics or electric motors in these Ukrainian drones. They work exclusively on conventional diesel engines. Consequently, electronic warfare systems and special anti-drone guns are powerless against such unmanned aerial vehicles. The only way to fight against such unmanned aerial vehicles is their complete destruction with the help of air defense systems. What I noticed the most in this whole story is that 7 Ukrainian drones were shot down over a prestigious area of Moscow, called Rublevka. It is here that the families of representatives of the most influential establishment of the Russian authorities live. And it looks like the result of this attack did not take long to wait. The heads of almost all influential factions of the State Duma began to demand from President Putin a retaliatory strike not only on the territory of Ukraine, but also on the territory of the United States. Russian deputies explain this by the fact that this attack was carried out exclusively with the help of Americans, and that it is the United States that is the main culprit of this attack. What exactly President Putin will do, and what Moscow's revenge will be, we will most likely find out in the coming days.